know when you're ready. You ready to roll? It's been a minute. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today all year, coming with another wonderful episode of BlackTogether. I'm not by myself. Lady Lisa, say what's up.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. So, guys, if you were not aware, if you did not know, BlackTogether is the show where we attack issues, mostly matters of the heart, but we get into, family, housing, whatever it is, from the perspective of a married black couple, dealing with issues like in our community from that perspective. And today, we're going to be talking about Netflix's Bridgerton. But there are a lot of relationship things in this show, from mother to daughter, sisters, boyfriend, or I guess courting, dating to husband, even man to man. It's in there. There's a lot of stuff in there. And there was some gems that we went back and forth talking about on the show. So this isn't going to technically be a review of Bridgerton, but we will be spoiling Bridgerton because we'll be talking about Bridgerton the whole show. So be aware if you haven't watched it yet. Now, if you have watched it and you're like, man, that person was crazy. That person was crazy too. Going to stick around. We're going to kick it. Big shout out to everybody who's open or up early in the chat. What's up? Going to hit that thumbs up. Thank you. Anyone coming through on the replay, much love to you as well. I want to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters, Super Chat folks, everyone who's hitting the thumbs and up and down and commenting and sharing. Much love to y'all. So, Lady Lisa, we watched the amazing Bridgerton. What relationship did you enjoy the most during the show?
Did I enjoy the most?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's one I necessarily enjoyed the most.
Oh, that's wrong.
Well, I don't know what it was, but I think I liked the friendship, the early part of the friendship between, and I can't remember nobody's name. I can never remember nobody's name.
Who? What do the people look like?
The main character who married the black man.
Oh, Daphne.
Daphne, and what was her husband's name?
Simon.
Simon.
All right.
I appreciated the friendship Simon had with Daphne's brother. Like when they first saw each other, and it was like, oh, it's so good to see you. It was just cool to see that friendship, dynamic. You could tell they were really good friends.
Okay.
And it just became interesting, as it went on, where it was like, oh, he was so glad to see him, and they talked about all the good times they had together. But as soon as it's like, you looking at my sister?
You looking at my sister?
You're like, you can't be dating my sister. You a dog. In so many words, it's like, but this is your boy. You know what I mean? And
True.
we talked about that, like, that happens where it's like it's somebody you're good friends with and y'all are real tight and y'all consider brothers. But when it comes to them dating your sister, it's like, no, man, you a dog. And it's like, so why are you friends with somebody who is such a dog?
And folks watching, help me out on this one, because I attempted to respond or answer this to a certain degree, because I've known friends I've had friends that were definitely like dogs, and I've cut them from my circle years and years ago. But when you meet them, you meet them when you're in like, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, something like that. Like when you meet them and you become friends, they're not dogs then. And then as they kind of evolve into dogs, it's like, well, I mean, he's my boy. Like, yeah, like,
he's a dog,
and it's one of those things.
He's my friend.
It's one of those things where you spend so much time with someone, they're kind of like de facto your friend, even though they don't exhibit the behaviors you exhibit. You still remain friends, or you still keep the connection due to the time invested. Which, of course, the reason I cut them out of my circle, because when I sat and thought about it, I was like, well, I don't owe them friendship.
Right.
or even if I'm friendly to them, or I'm a friend to them, doesn't mean that I owe them my time, my space, my energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that association becomes, one of a negative, pain point to many people, saying like, how do you run with this person? How do you run with that person? Because they do this. And you have to be able to, go in and stand up for yourself and surround yourself with the people that exhibit the behavior or the mindset, or at least where you want to be, maybe not where you are yet, but where you want to be, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I can see them being friends and kind of staying friends, because they were both still deep in it.
Yeah.
The only thing is, he never thought that his boy would ever be interested in his sister. So I guess once that happened, then he was like, hit the brakes. Nah.
Yeah.
Not my sister.
But, it's crazy because I can't say there's any particular relationship where it's like, oh, I really kind of enjoyed that particular relationship.
Okay.
Because it was just so much craziness going on with everybody. Like, nobody just had a regular relationship, you go on about your daily life. Everybody had foolishness going on.
All right. For me, there was actually one couple, and I pulled his name up. The character's name is Will Mondrich, and Will Mondrich was the boxer, the brother that was married to the sister, and they had a black child. This is the only black family in the whole show.
You're right. You're actually right. Yes. You're right. And
they're the only black family in the whole show.
You're right. And they didn't have any craziness going on, honestly.
Of a show made by a black woman.
Yeah. But
we're going to slide that to the side. There's a whole another argument for another time.
Well, not only that, this is based on a book.
Yeah, I know it's based on a book. But I'm pretty sure if we were to read the book, they took liberties with all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. As filmmakers do. Just interesting where, people want to draw lines. But leave that alone. I like that couple.
Yeah,
they seem like a real couple.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They were side by side. They worked out things together. How they felt about certain issues of Simon, certain issues of boxing in general, even when he was talking about like taking the dive, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. They were side by side. They felt natural together. Even when they kind of like played with each other, razzed each other, it seemed natural.
Yeah.
So that's something that I enjoyed. I like the fact that actually the only positive looking couple outside of our star couple at the end of the show, but the only positive couple that was like a well-adjusted couple at the end of the day was a black family. Hashtag black families. Hashtag black love. Don't sleep. So there's something that I thought was dope. But I really did enjoy that family, and just how they related to each other, how they were around one another. The chemistry was great, and that's something I will say about the show in general. There wasn't anyone that stood out to me like, unlikable as far as their skill of acting. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed the show. There were some story things that I didn't like, but relationship-wise, I really dug it. One thing I wanted to get into and talk about was, and I guess I'll leave this to you, was the moment between Daphne and her mom. There's this moment where she's like, you didn't prepare me for womanhood. You didn't prepare me for marriage. You didn't prepare me for, matters of the heart or, the physicality of relationships. Yeah. And, we kind of talked about this a little bit on Lounging with another situation about crippling your children. And this is another way that you can cripple your child. And I know you were talking about, I'll let you go on about it because, of course, you are a woman. So, what I'm saying, go and do your thing. Yeah,
I was just kind of agreeing with that. I thought that was a really, I thought that was a good moment when she did go to her mother and tell her that. You know what I mean? Because it was better than just kind of keeping silent about it and just dealing with it.
Yeah.
And I think her mother did take that in. You know what I mean? I really do.
Yeah.
She wasn't super like defensive about it or anything like that. But I think, honestly, I think she did the best she could. The very brief talk that she did have with her, you know, right before she got married was the best she could muster up. You know, you could just tell that she was groomed not to speak about sex, not to speak about, you know, intimate marital relationships. So she tried. She genuinely tried to sit down and have what would be considered the talk with her, and I don't know what that was.
It was just very, and it followed through to Daphne because her sister Eloise came and wanted to like open up to her about being, you know, going into the next spring, you know, coming out as a lady or whatever. And she gave her like this kind of like very, you know, vanilla response. And, you know, she was like, I thought I could be real with you. I mean, for you know, all intents and purposes, like I thought we could be cool. I thought we could be real. I thought you could, you know, open up to me. And I mean, I might as well went to my mama's. You gonna give me a non-answer? You gonna give me a non-answer too?
Yeah, that's what I was saying about it. It's like, you know, she needed her sister in that moment. She thought she would be able to, you know, go into her sister's room, close the door, and they both just kind of have a moment of just complaining, you know, to each other, just kind of hashing it out. And she kind of, you know, like dismissed her and gave her this like motherly kind of talk. And it's like, you're not being real with me right now, because I know everything is not super cool and all right with you either. So I thought I could come and talk to you. But, you know, I see now that, you know, you doing a little much. And so, yeah, that was interesting. But I think that was her way of coping, because I feel like, you know, she was thinking, if I go in and say all these things that I feel, I'm going to have to collect myself again. And I've gotten to a point where I've kind of collected myself, sucked it up, saying I got to do what I have to do and move forward. I can't afford to kind of let it all out right now, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get myself back together.
Yeah, so I will say I do understand that, kind of like that viewpoint. It's just, it helps us to see how each generation follows through with continually, I guess, hiding their actual feelings or their actual perspective on a certain issue, and trying to cover it with pretty words. You know, at certain times of your child's life, you know, they're going to need you to just be real with them and be honest with them. And for a mother, or no, not a mother, just not to throw it all on the Bridgertons, for a society that is built around kind of pushing women into like, all right, cool, now it's your time to shine, go out and get a husband, and then not really talk about like, hey, this is what it's like to be married. This is what it's like to have a husband. These are some things you might go through.
This is what your husband is going to expect from you, especially in these times. And I think it's very important to talk about, you know, these times specifically, because relationships between men and women, marriages between men and women, seem to be extremely different then than they are now. It was very interesting to me that it seemed like the whole focus of life was getting ready to be of age, being of age,
and then
then getting married. Like, you preparing your whole life pretty much to be someone's wife or husband. That's what it was. And you know, from the woman's side, is like, you have to make sure you present yourself in a certain way, you know, and you have to get a husband, because you need someone that's going to take care of you. Because of course, then, you know, women weren't going to go down to, you know, the employment office and get a job. You know, it's just not what was going.
There were very few. You had like the fake French lady that was selling dresses. but it was very
Yeah.
few. It was very few.
That's because that was probably considered an acceptable thing for a
but
woman
that's why I said
to
very
do.
few.
Yeah.
It's not like the market is hot. You know,
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, you're right. So there were those instances. But it's kind of, I don't know. It's even with all of their money and access, it seems sort of a very tense and sad existence because, you know, just like with what was the sister's name? Eloise. You know, Eloise was like, I'm not pressed about getting married. I'm not pressed about going here to these doggone parties. I want to go.
She was looking frumpy like almost all the time.
But
son.
I think that was on purpose.
She was trying to,
That was to be defiant because when they got her dressed, she looked nice. But her and Penelope, I really like Penelope. But you know, it was just interesting because she's, you know, Eloise was like, look, I want to go somewhere and read a book. Okay, can you direct me to the library? Because when she finally did go to that party, and Daphne was like, look, if you want to go up to the library and hang out for the party, I'm not gonna tell anybody, you know, where you are.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
So it's just interesting how that was, and I'm gonna tell you because some people are probably like, why y'all talking about this on BlackTogether? This was interesting to me because this is a very interracial cast and characters, and I don't remember, maybe once or twice they talked about race, maybe. I think
they talked about it with the Queen and how this whole thing kind of got popping.
Who was it? Lady Danbury who said something about our people and the Queen?
Yeah, I think she was telling the story about the Queen when the King took on a black woman, and that kind of changed and set the tone.
Okay.
Shouts out to Lala Papa. Nice to see you in the spot. What up, Lala? You know what I'm saying? So, nice to see you.
I thought that was very interesting. It honestly, you know, with everything we have going on every day, it was kind of refreshing, honestly, to be able to just have this story, let the characters be who they are, let people kind of date who they date, marry who they marry, and the center of the story is not race. A topic of the story is not race. You know, so-and-so dances with her and is interested in marrying her. He's white, she's black. All right, cool. It honestly was kind of refreshing. I really have to say that it's kind of a nice getaway, you know, from reality. So yeah.
All right. I also wanted to talk about the relationship between, what is his name? The main Bridgerton kid. What was his name?
The brother?
It's not Hyacinth. I cannot remember his name, but he's the main Bridgerton. But
Anthony?
the Viscount Bridgerton. That's what it is. Anthony. Yeah. Him and his lady of the evening that he was creeping with.
But was she a lady of the evening?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think she was a lady of the evening.
Singer.
She was an opera singer, so she wasn't. Yeah. You know what? You're right. She wasn't a lady of the evening.
No, she was.
He was treating her like one.
Well, she was acting like one.
Well, yeah, she was acting like one, but she wasn't. But that relationship is another one where it ends up being kind of heartbreaking, even though it might have started in some kind of like, yo, we're just having fun or whatever. But they ended up having feelings for one another.
Yeah.
And I do think that the society around them is what kind of kept Anthony back from her. Mm-hmm. And the sad issue is, you know, dude is like, well, I can't be with you. I don't want to be with you. I ain't gonna never come around again. And then she get her own dude. And here you come up looking sad. You know what I'm saying? Don't come looking sad now. She moved on with her own man. You know what I'm saying? And but it really did mean something to him. They were both kind of trapped in this what will other people think kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Ethic Radio Archive? Nice to see you. They are both stuck in this weird we're gonna let what other people think of us matter more than our essential happiness.
Yeah, but this is the thing that we have to consider too, is that it's not just about simply what people think. People's status was just so determinant of what they're able to do in life.
Yeah.
When society or the people around them decide that they're doing something, quote, improper, they get shunned by everyone. So opportunities are taken away from them.
But he was the Viscount. He had a little status. That was my argument with him the whole time. I'm like, yo, if you like this girl, if y'all up in here rolling around and you love this woman, you up here crying with flowers and stuff, marry this girl. You're the Viscount. Just like I'm pretty sure people had something to say about the king marrying that black woman that, is the queen now. But he did it. It changed everything.
It did.
Your situation might be something that frees other people. You know what I'm saying? From whatever kind of societal fears, maybe, about, I can't marry them because, they're poor or something like that.
But he would have to consider his sisters because,
True. Yeah, because they do follow it on through to your whole family. But I think
it was crazy.
But I think him as the Viscount, if he married her and she showed up to one of those parties or whatever with like a nice dress and everything, and they were like, oh, yo, because they already know her as the singer, they're like, oh, snap, yeah, he married a famous opera singer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to know.
She seems to have already had some type of reputation. It seems to go beyond that.
Yeah, she was kind of known that she wasn't married and she had been out there.
She still keep popping.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think for him, the reason why he just had this active sexual relationship with her is because in his mind it's like, well, I'm not going to be able to marry her, so I may as well just do what I want to do with her in secret. It doesn't matter about me, not having sex with her because I'm not, until we get married, because there is no until, and then, feelings developed and but when he broke up with her, that was because, that was right after his mother, I think it was his mother.
His mother
had this conversation with him about, pretty much you need to get yourself together.
You better get yourself together.
So he was like, okay, let me break off ties. Let me stop doing this. Let me stop. Because he was trying to do what he felt was right. Right. Yeah. But then I think he couldn't really fight his feelings he had for her. Because remember, he was looking for her. He would see her in everything he did. And then he
was up in them streets like,
yeah.
Where you at?
And then when he finally did see her and she gave him that look, remember I said she gave him that look like, oh, you can still get it if you want it. So even though she was with dude. So that was kind of sad because then, they did plan to go. He was like, come to the party with me. I don't care what people think anymore. Yeah. We're going to do this.
We're going to do this. I got your back. I will stay with you. I will stay
answer the door. I'm like,
yo, I was wondering where she was loving him at. I was like, who's making love to your old lady?
While you out making love. But I was like, you just gonna let dude just answer the door? Like,
man, yo. Because she probably living up in his house. And then we found out it was his house. I'm like, you laid up in his bed. Jeez. That he sleep in. Look, all right. I ain't trying to tell y'all how to cheat. All I'm saying is like, look.
But was it
in the bed he sleeping? I assume
was
that was
it his house because dude was really mellow about some other dude coming to the door for his woman. If that was his house,
he like she chose me, and she about to choose me again. And what you know about that? She about to choose me again. Look, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm fine. She protected here. She able to have her opera career. I'm chilling. She chilling. Ain't nobody worrying about you, little Viscount. But I did, even though he had the Wolverine mutton chops, I did feel bad for him when, she was like, I'm happy here. I'm fine here. This and the third. I want to go to those stupid parties or whatever. You might say that, but she wanted to go to them parties. And it's one of those things that I think she'll probably regret it in the future. But
yeah, she will.
it's kind of one of those things like, what can you do now? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what can you do?
She
The
struck me
decision's been made.
she struck me as the type of woman who has decided to try and find contentment with being a kept woman. Because she was kept, and that's she was a kept woman, and so she was trying to find contentment with that and act as if she didn't need or have any desire to be married and have a meaningful relationship. But you could look in her face.
You could look at her face and see,
true.
because she was crying, she was holding back them tears. Them eyes was glassy as I don't know what. All right, there was mad water welled up.
It's kind of, and if you really want to get deep about it, it's kind of sad because I think she has deemed herself unworthy, and I really
or maybe she was scared to take the chance.
Well, because she's deemed herself unworthy. That's how I look at it.
Well, he also did the yes no hopscotch with her a couple times.
Yeah, but I just feel like that's what it is. I think. So many people have looked at her that way, and it may be rightfully so because of some things she's done in the past. But you have to get to a point where you say, you know what, I want to live differently, and I'm worthy of living, a better life and being respectful and being respected and loved. And she just was in a place.
Everybody deserves some love.
Yeah, I don't think she
Maybe
felt.
not deserve.
I don't think she felt she deserved it because when he said, "Look, let's go to the party. I don't care what people think. Let's just go." He was ready. He wanted.
I want to announce you as my woman.
Exactly.
You're my woman. Let's get married. Let's do this. Let's get married.
I really don't think she felt worthy of it because if she did, she would have gone. And and I think it did have to do with too because he flip-flopped with her. She may not have felt like
a whole bunch of flip-flopping.
She may not have felt confident in that if somebody came at her wrong at the party, he would defend her. Because that Miss Busybody lady.
Oh, the girl that need to get pushed down some steps. Man, the one that almost had the prince. Remember when she did that fake faint when she was like,
"What is her?" Cressida.
Yeah, Cressida. Man, you don't get your crescent roll name having. Look, get out of here. Ain't nobody thinking about you.
Yeah.
All snooty out there looking at people in the garden.
Always got something smart to say.
Always got something to say. With the dumbest hair. Oh
my gosh.
Speaking of hair, I know we're here to talk about the relationships of the show. I don't want to hear nothing about Baps no more. After the hair I've seen in this show, we taking it back.
They doing the most.
They doing the most with their hair.
I got the whole garden. You got lace, all kinds of.
They got ribbons, lace,
and weaves,
feathers.
And, crystals. Just
ain't nobody trying to hear, man. Get out of here. Get out of here.
It was a lot.
Man, look.
Too much.
Too much.
Then you got a dress where you got the same stuff in your dress.
Yeah.
Look, I need you to make up your mind. Pick one embellishment. Can we do that? One.
Too much up in your head.
Too much.
But next up is the sadness around. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me pull out my girl because I forgot. The Featheringtons. The Featheringtons in general. You got Penelope, who she had her issues with, or not her issues, but she was interested in Hyacinth. So, Kevin Jones said the hair is out of this world.
She was interested in Colin.
Was it Colin?
Yeah.
Was it Colin or Hyacinth?
Colin.
Okay. So, all right. So she was interested in Colin. Yeah, because Colin was getting ready to get married.
Yeah, I pulled up the whole.
She was getting ready to marry. What's the girl's name? The Featherington long lost cousin or whatever.
Hold on.
But anyway, Penelope.
Where is she?
In general, is cool. That whole.
Her name was Marina Thompson.
That whole Whistledown snitching though.
Whistledown.
That Whistledown snitching was. Hold on, go and hit him one more time.
What?
Go and hit him with the Whistledown.
Whistledown. And I didn't know Julie Andrews was doing that voice.
Oh, she was?
Yeah. She's Lady Whistledown.
Like, the...
Oh, man, Whistledown.
I understand why she said what she said in the letter. But what up, Lollipop? It's cool. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Lollipop said, I'm nodding my head up and down, acting like I know what y'all talking about, just to be a good friend and supporter. It's like, oh, word? A whistle down?
You should check it out. You should check it out and see what you think.
On the real, you should check out Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. You have to put like air in your cheek. Bridgerton. You're saying it like you're almost too good to say it, and it's like hurting your pride to even have to say it. Bridgerton.
But nah, you should check it out. Story wise, I have some deep issues with the back half of the season, but
back half.
Yeah, everything past the duel, I'm like, what we doing right now? What we doing? We had a dope season.
Well,
what's going on?
The duel was dumb too.
The duel was dumb. Oh, the duel was dumb.
I mean,
but anyway, the reason for the duel was dumb.
Yes.
It wasn't even. You know what? Get past that. We talk about Penelope, Colin. Penelope is someone. I feel. Penelope's a perfect example of someone who doesn't realize or is unable to accept where they are. Not to say that no one likes her, but Colin did not feel that way towards her at all. Unless I was reading it wrong. Colin was not interested in Penelope.
He didn't
not,
see her
not
in that way.
Sexually, not marriageally, or whatever. You know what I mean? He was not interested in her like that.
But I don't think it's a thing of. I don't think it's a thing of she thought he did. She was trying to kind of make it known to him. I felt, and she felt like because of their friendship, it would develop that way.
Yeah, and it can, but it just didn't seem like it was happening there.
Yeah, I felt bad for her because. Honestly, I think she was probably one of the nicest and most genuine characters on this show.
I mean, besides the fact she was lying about being Lady Whistledown, but I mean, she was. In the show, we find out she's Lady Whistledown. Remember, she took off the hood.
She's not Lady Whistledown.
She took off the hood. Yeah.
No, remember when Lady Whistledown was talking and she said she found out that someone was trying to find out who she was, so she had to create a diversion. She was a diversion.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. That's not how I read it, but word, no doubt.
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out next year.
But
no.
I like how Penelope, as soon as Miss Thompson, Marina, kind of came around and was having, issues or whatever, she showed her compassion. She kind of made her a friend. You know what I mean?
Word.
I that just showed that she was like a really sweet, genuine person.
Mm-hmm.
I like the friendship she had with, what was Daphne's sister? Eloise. I just thought it was cute how every time they got together, they kind of sneak off and,
like giggle at one another.
Yeah, it was just kind of cute. So yeah, let's talk about Miss Thompson.
Yes, which was a horrible situation from top to bottom. Like for the things that were done to her and the things she had to do. But it ended up sort of working out for her. You know what I'm saying? It kind of ended up working out in a way where it was cool, and it made sense. But she was she was like the second or third cousin or something, with a long lost cousin. Yeah, kind of like just shuffled onto them. But she had this great loving relationship already when she showed up on the show.
Yeah, and let's just talk about too when she first showed up, right, and they were talking about her, they were gossiping about her. And
Oh, yeah.
they first saw her.
When they saw her,
she was, the mom was like, well, I mean, how much?
She's from the country.
I don't have to worry about her. This little country girl.
She probably ugly.
She showed up, right? They all sitting in there, probably spent 2 hours getting themselves together with being squoze in. Yes, I said squoze. Being squoze all up in them dresses.
Yo, they had people
breasts
pulling
about
them
to pop
joints
out. Hair.
Yo, why was everybody's breast at the top of their neck?
Had 15 hair embellishments going on and all this other kind of stuff. She show up where, clearly her hair not done any special way, not a stitch of makeup, and she outdid everybody in the whole room.
When she cut the curb.
And the mama's face about dropped on the floor like, God, dog it.
Oh, man. Yo, man.
When that melanin came in the room, you couldn't do nothing with him.
Oh, man. It's funny. Lala Papa said, this whole time I thought Nerd was talking to his wife. I am. But she cut that curb on him. She came through the door. And it was like, oh, hold up. It was like, what? And she was like, yeah, best believe that. Don't let the country fool you. The only thing is they put her in whack dresses too. Like everybody's dress was whack. Like everybody's dress consisted of a belt right below your breast that push your breast up to like your eyes or something. Lady Nerdy. Lady Nerdy. But
that's funny.
Man, the hate that was on Mama Featherington's face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The hate was crazy. The hate was on another level. And she's in this loving relationship already, but of course, with the fact that, she's already with child, Mama Featherington got to get all involved, messing with letters and stuff. And she gets a chance.
That was dirty.
That was mad dirty. To be like, I don't love you, no way. And then she goes through all that, and then to go through the fact that he's dead as well. But the way she was pushed to kind of sort of get married as quick as possible to Colin that was dirty. That was dirty on the mom's part.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah. I'm on the fence about it being dirty from Marina's part because I understand because of the times and because of her, especially because of her situation. True. She needed to marry someone, but what's crazy is what Colin said was, I was so in love with you in so many words that if you had come to me in honesty and said I'm with child, I would have married you anyway. Mm-hmm. And so the thing was, and that's the thing, when you do stuff in a dishonest way, because I understand her position, and I understand that she needed to get married, especially because she was pregnant. And women anyway needed to get married because that's just kind of how it was. But, the way she did it, was just wrong. And I felt bad for Colin. I did, because it's like you're trying to trap this man because, she wanted to hurry up and have sex with him so that it would just look like, but he had so much respect for her, he wouldn't. Exactly. And then Mama Featherington was mad about it. And then there was like, well, hurry up, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all so busy trying to, do stuff, in a low down way. If you were just honest, that kind of thing. It's so that I think Colin was honestly ready, and I like the energy that he had with his brother, because his brother was like, you're too young to get married. He like, look, hold up, don't get mad at me, because I'm getting married like I'm supposed to be doing, and you out here running around with the opera singer. You know what I'm saying? On the down low, on the down low, because everybody know about it. It's like it's down low, but it's the open secret. Right, exactly. Everybody knows you're sneaking around, so I don't know why you're sneaking around. Yeah, it's like ain't no need to sneak around no more. And it was just sad too, because they kind of brought in the whole thing of abortion, and because Marina thought she had aborted a child based on a wives tale, pretty much, of you drink this herbal tea and it just knocked her out basically. Yeah, and then it'll, abort your child, and it ended up she didn't, and it was just sad. And it ends up that George, who she was so in love with, who was the father of her child, ended up getting killed. She thought, he had just kind of abandoned her because she was pregnant. It's like, no, he got
passed.
killed. But then, his George's brother shows up, and it's like, the honorable thing to do is for me to marry you since my brother loved you so much. And she like turns him down. I'm like, girl, you better go. Like, what you doing? Like, you was really willing to trap Colin, but his brother, knowing your situation, says, I will take you and love you and take care of you anyway. You're like, nah, girl, I need you to get your life together.
Look,
and she ended up with him anyway.
Thank you.
Like,
and she found out there weren't no other option. He was like, girl, come on.
It's like, and then she
because that's my nephew, you know what I'm saying? That's my niece or nephew in your gut.
And then she get in the carriage looking all crazy in the face. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to get your life.
Yeah, it's like, yo, everything worked out well for you. Like, I mean, of course, the man you love has died in the war,
right? But there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, as far as your personal situation and the situation for the future of your child has definitely gotten better. It's better than marrying that old dude that was sniffing around. That old crustified man. Now, I know times was different. I know times was wild. That was just creepy. But that dude was a little too old.
That was just creepy.
He was too. And then the other old dude. Pressed. The other old dude that wanted Daphne.
Daphne, yeah.
It's like, he was like, I used to watch you. She was like,
when I was a little girl.
When I was like in kindergarten and you were like in 5th grade, like.
No, when you were like, I don't know, graduated.
You were graduating college?
It was just, so I love the different elements they put in there because, yes, we know like the further back you go, the younger the girls were and the older the men were that got married. I understand that, but I love how they put in the genuine creepiness of it.
Yeah, it's like you kind of old to be doing all this. Why you even that old man that wanted Marina?
Yeah.
Like, what are you even in this? What are you even in this like springtime dating thing for? You don't sit your old self down. You need to get you a nice old lady.
No, he said to get him a springtime wife. He's in the fall and the winter of his life.
He in the winter of his life.
He want a springtime.
He want that fresh spring. What you gonna do? What you gonna do with that? But mess around, hurt your ankle or something.
Bless his heart. Well, his ankle,
pull a muscle trying to.
See, you being nice about the ankle.
Mess around, have a heart attack, getting too excited. Stay in your lane. Get you something nice and old like you is.
Not nice and old, Michael.
Yes, I said nice and old. He old. Get an old woman. You over here trying to get these young things.
I know.
Look. Lollipop said, hold up. Old people creeping creepers like Crypt Keeper hitting on teens.
Exactly.
Yo. It ain't even like hitting on the teen. It's like the way it's set up. They have these parties. Everybody come together. You're supposed to court the lady. You bring them like a big gift. And the person who has the best gift or the most money is the one who wins. This is kind of how it is. Like,
look, let's talk about how this courting thing works. Look here. These women was racking up. Hear me what I say.
They had gifts.
See, I thought the way it worked is you just had different men. It was okay, but you had different men that would take you out or come, and sit in your mama's parlor at different times. No.
Nah, bruh.
They all lined. Look,
they had a line for Marina.
This is the way it worked. It's Saturday morning.
They was like, they're a new shorty in town.
Hold on. It's Saturday morning, right? And there's this new girl in town. So Saturday morning, we're going to all put on our best little knickers and our velveteen jackets.
Our best velvets and silks.
All this kind of craziness. And we're going to line up. All right. And literally.
All of our shirts collars come to here.
We're going to, and our sideburns come down to our lips.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to line up at her front door with our individual gifts. And we're going to all pile up in her mama's parlor and try to talk to her at the same time.
And just drop gifts.
Look,
the other sisters, the Featherington girls were just sitting over there like
hello, we available?
Except the one dude came for the girl, the little awkward dude came for the awkward Featherington girl, and she was like, ooh, me?
Yeah,
but look,
so
man,
was I was
look,
just like, y'all, this is just craziness.
But that's how it is, in general terms. Men use their position, women use their bodies. This is from way, way, way back.
Yeah.
So a man's position, I have money, look at the gift I can give you.
Exactly.
And he's like, nah, my gift is better than his.
Exactly.
And my gift is, and I'm older than he.
Right, which means I'm more established.
Which means I'm more established. I probably have more property.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So it was so blatant. That's the thing. It was just so blatant and very matter of fact. And it's like it's understood. You know, some of the men, well, the older men, the older creepy men would like literally. Remember that old dude that like looked Marina up and down and like turned her around?
Yo,
and
he
like
sure did.
Like she was a racehorse or something. I was like,
yo,
ugh.
I was like, yo, all right,
Like,
y'all going too far right now.
Let me see your teeth. And she's like,
let me see your teeth.
Smile for me. She's like, I'm not smiling for you.
You smiling for your old crustified ass? All right, now, Lollapapa said random aunties quickly shouts, hey, it's Grandpa. Somebody make sure to hide his Viagra pills hidden in his left back pocket. Yo, look. Yeah, look, that's another thing. Viagra going to be the #1 killer of old men. Y'all keep on track. Look,
I mean, it's been around for some time, and we ain't heard about nobody dropping dead.
Well, maybe, look, y'all, look, take your time, all right? I mean, slow it down.
You'll die happy. If you got to go happy.
But her situation ended up working out, but I did feel sad about the kind of corner she was maneuvered into by life and, of course, Mama Featherington.
Yeah, that was so wrong.
Life kind of maneuvered her, and then, I mean, because she was already kind of like the poor girl from the farm. And then, you know, you got Mama Featherington just being completely crappy to her the whole time. Basically locked her up in the room.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let her do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, told her, like, you got to find somebody, have sex quick, so they think the baby is theirs or something, like, just... And trying to trick people, and that I don't think was her original goal. But she was they pushed her so hard into it. You know what I'm saying? That she kind of fell for it. So that was something that was a shame. You know what I'm saying? But the last relationship I want to talk about. Daphne Bridgerton and Lord Simon of Hastings. Oh, man. This is a relationship that was cool, but also got on my nerves.
Yes. I'm like, can you just be happy?
Would y'all stop fighting all the time?
But it's understandable because look at the issues they both had. Look at the issues Simon had.
Definitely, yeah.
Look at the relationship or lack thereof
with his father.
With his father. And then look at how just really inexperienced, ignorant, for lack of a better word, and all of that Daphne was. You know, that's the thing about how this went on, is that in everything being so formal and pushing everyone to get married and not really date. Yeah. You have no idea about.
You don't even really know this person.
Relationships. You don't know how to really handle relationships and your feelings and all these kind of things. And, you know, and when he told her, when he told her about what she could do with herself. Look here. That changed her whole life. You hear me?
She was like, word?
She was like, Simon, fix my life. And he did.
He like, I got you, girl.
And I think that messed her head up even more, though. But it was frustrating.
You, girl.
It was frustrating to watch with them going back and forth, the extreme highs and extreme lows, because of his insecurities and because of his hurt and his secrets and his pain, and because of she just don't know whether she coming or going. So it was frustrating to watch, and also because you could tell they really loved each other. Yeah,
they cared about each other, but since neither of them know anything about trying to maintain a relationship at all, because they were never taught, or one on his side, he never wanted to be married because of course the hate that he held for his father. But then at the same time, similar to what I said, and it was kind of written in the show to a certain degree, but something to paraphrase, like basically like, look, I understand why you made the vow way back when, but now you're letting a dead man control your life.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
Because see, he wasn't able to see the other side of what he could have done was say, you know what, I am going to get married and I am going to have children and I'm going to love my wife the way you should have loved my mother, and I'm going to love my children the way and accept my children the way you should have loved and accepted me, and that's actually going to be my revenge on all of this, and that's actually going to be my one up on you. I'm going to be a better man than you were in every way. You know what I mean? But of course, everybody isn't able to look at it that way, because he probably also felt like, I have no idea how to be a husband. I have no idea how to be a father because I was never shown, and I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up. I think that was really where he was coming from, was like, I'll mess it up. I know I will, and then I'll be even more devastated because I'll be doing to my wife and my children what was done to me, and I don't want to do that. So yeah.
And then the whole part of like lying about, you know, being able to have a child and things of that nature, it was just so much that was poured in hate-wise from his father that he had to kind of get over or get past. Not because what your father did was right, but because your father isn't the only Hastings. You know, you're also a Hastings. So the last name itself isn't only filled with poor history. You know, you can always change your story, change your legacy story, the legacy of your name, that story. And I know a lot of men deal with, you know, like their fathers and the issues behind how they were treated when they were raised. But you always have an opportunity when you become a father, when you become a husband, to be that, you know, to be the husband or the father that you wanted to see, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what, you know, like what you went through when you were younger. And it seemed like he kind of learned that. And that's kind of how he felt towards the end, which was cool.
And I love that once Daphne found out, when she talked to Lady, what was her name? That raised him? Lady Danbury. You know, when she talked to her and she found the letters and she kind of got a background on what he went through. I love the fact that she did back down, because before she was just very like, why are you doing this to me? Da 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 da. But then once she understood what his issues were, she kind of backed down. She became more gentle with him. And I think once he saw that, once he knew she knows all these things about me and she's embracing me and she's loving me, that softened him up, and then he started to see things, I think, differently. But you know, it's a thing of you're both learning. You know, you're really honestly both learning about how to do this whole marriage thing. You know, how to do this whole relationship thing and still deal with your own issues and deal with the other person's issues, because that's heavy. Yeah, that's really, and then you learn, and
issues you don't even know about.
Right, I was going to say issues you didn't know you had because you've never been in a situation. You know, on top of the issues you know you had. It's a lot. You know, I remember watching, I was like, it's a lot for her to deal with, because basically she's still a child. I don't know how old her character was supposed to be, but I'm assuming she was probably like 17, maybe 16. Yeah, something you know?
To that extent, like something around there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot.
And that's why it's very important to kind of have those conversations as early on as you feel comfortable. You know, you can't let the conversations you're not having create wedges in a relationship that you know is good, or that you know has the potential to be great because of how you care about them and how they care about you. You know what I'm saying? And he was allowing that mess to literally jump inside of his relationship and wreak havoc. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things where you got to let this stuff go. You know what I'm saying? You got to let this go. It can be part of your story because it's always what you live through. It'll never disappear, but you can't let that cripple you in the face of like a beautiful new life. And I think he learned that, which was great later on. And then Daphne kind of coming into her own as a duchess, which was cool. You know, like even kind of like going around and seeing what the people, how they felt and stuff like that. So I thought that was dope. And in the end, I ended up digging the show.
Yeah, I didn't.
They went through some stuff where
you would, because I know you said you don't like period pieces and
I'm not
like
super big on period pieces.
I kind of do, and even though I don't kind of like seek them out and watch them because they can get dry to a certain degree.
Yes, it can.
But this one was very different because of how they added in, just the normalcy of interracial relationships. And that the queen was black. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah, that was definitely a big deal.
Yeah, that the queen was black. That was really huge. Now, I will say, Netflix, y'all went above and beyond your privilege of having explicit sex scenes. Like,
they were.
I mean,
now I don't know if I say it's explicit, but they definitely tried to. They definitely tried to Cinemax it up.
As explicit as you was gonna get without it being porn.
That's true. There was some pumping and sweating. They definitely they Cinemaxed you out on this one.
And I'm like,
this was Netflix trying to prove that it had like hey. We like HBO. We're like HBO, or we're like Cinemax, or we're like Showtime.
It's like they were being the 13-year-old who just realized they have hormones. Like, are you in the bathroom again?
It's like, one more time. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got to ease up.
Yeah.
Let the thing breathe. Dang.
Like on My Wife and Kids, when they were like, "You gonna break it." When Junior, you remember that when Junior kept
Junior stupid. But shouts to Kevin Jones, said definitely seems like a show worth checking out. Yeah, I enjoyed the show. Like I said, the back half of the season, I had my ups and downs, but it was entertaining. It was definitely entertaining. A lot of stuff to talk about, and I enjoyed it. I will say I enjoyed it, and something that I did not expect. I was like, man. I try and watch this Bridgerton.
Now, I did remember I told you about a new show that I found on OWN, even though we about at our edge with OWN. But it's a new show called Behind Every Man. And it's a show sort of like in a documentary style that highlights women that are married to famous men. And so I decided to check it out, and I checked out the first episode, which featured Kirk Franklin's wife. And it was very good. It was very well done. I liked it a lot. So I'm actually looking forward to that, and hopefully that's something that we could start talking about on here. But so, I think OWN caught a little bit of redemption, just a tad.
A little touch.
A tad of redemption.
Because they did just drop that Bell Collective.
With this one.
Man. It's funny how you had to just breathe hard after it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's like you gotta just be like,
I'm not gonna even speak on it. It's not.
Yeah. So with that said, guys, I think we've exercised the demons. Mm-hmm. There was some good relationship lessons to learn in here, some good stuff to talk about, you know what I'm saying? And, and some entertaining drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was entertaining. So
the process of courtship and all of that is just like, it's overwhelming.
And shouts out to Shonda Rhimes, because you could not do this show on ABC.
No.
She already pushed it as far as you could go on ABC. Remember, ABC is owned by Disney.
Remember, she's done with ABC anyway.
Well, yeah, but remember she did that scene on Scandal where he pulled the panties down?
And she was bent over the desk?
I was like,
excuse me?
Is this ABC?
Excuse me?
ABC I know about? ABC Family ABC? It was like, look, ain't family right now. We're about to make a family.
You are in the Oval Office, ma'am.
Ma'am, put your panties back on.
You know how many panties been down in the Oval
Man,
Office?
there's been so many panties in the Oval Office. Man, if you took a black light through that joint, like a Motel 6. But with that said, guys, big shout out to everyone who came through. Lala Papa, Kevin Jones, Con L. Who is it? What is it? Radio Archive came through. Ethnic Radio Archive came through. Big love to all y'all. Big shout outs. Keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Woo for all y'all. So before we get out of here, maybe Lisa say peace.
Bye, y'all.
So, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. YouTube is the hub. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. But if you hit that thumbs down, I'm going to send Lady Featherington after you. And she's not the most picturesque of the...
Nothing wrong with Lady. She just squirrels in that dress like nobody's business.
Man, them joints is straight up in your chin. I'm like, every time I'm like, God.
I present to you.
I submit to you the chest. So, with that said, guys, we're going to leave y'all with ARCKATRON.com. Much love to this dude. Made the space bridge. He's dope. He got them beats. He ain't no joke. So from us to y'all, saying thank you for watching and peace. And we out. And we out. You got anything else? What? Let's see. I'm trying to think. What? You know what? Before we bounce, we are out. But you know what? Bridgerton is not only good because of the relationship drama, but costuming was on point.
Look here.
Costuming was on point.
Look here.
I'll give you that.
Especially Simon. Simon won't play no games.
Simon's gear was on point.
Simon won't play no games.
Yo, man,
and what was his pretty much mom? Lady Danbury. Look here.
Yeah.
Look here. And it's not a mistake that the brother and the sister was the two that was
freshest
doing it. Look, his jacket game is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, his gear was on point.
And Lady Danbury, she like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. I may be a little long in the tooth.
Yeah,
don't play. I'm still doing it.
Man, she had some, man.
Yeah.
Look.
She wore some stuff.
For real.
Yeah. So I think that's the other thing. Honestly, that's the other thing I really do like about period pieces is I love the costuming. I just loved, even though it's a little much, but I love the intricacy of the costuming. I really do, because it was just like above and beyond all the details. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's dope for real. It's them clothes was on point.
Yeah.
So guys, with that said, of course, Arcatron coming straight to y'all. He's got some dope beats. So from us to y'all, we'll see y'all next time, which will be tomorrow for Beats Vibes Life. We getting into that hip hop. It's gonna be dope. See y'all later. We out. Yeah. And we out. Hey.